We've spent 5 years gathering knowledge. 5 years growing partnerships and friendships.
The real strength of this project is in its partnerships, and so we're collaborating with 12 different coastal First Nations and tribal councils all up and down the coast. We're collaborating with the federal and provincial government, as well as several other NGOs. So it's a really broad spectrum of players that are coming together to monitor these important ecosystems.
Whatever the issues there are, you put it aside and find a common set of values. And it's pretty much the momentum starts and you can't stop it.
I feel like I have built some meaningful and lasting relationships through the work with Nature Trust. It's been a pleasure to work with them because of the way that they have approached us. I feel like they really value our knowledge too, like it's an Indigenous knowledge, I guess what it is, really.
Yeah, it feels really special to be partnered with so many different groups, especially different First Nations guardian programs up and down the coast, because we get to work in these different areas with people in their homelands.
I think collaboration really strengthens science. It means that it is built by the folks that know that place the best. I like to think of science arising from a place in people. It sort of comes out of the expertise and what the needs are of that place rather than getting imposed on from outside. You get close to people when you spend time in the field together, whether it's a sunny day or a rainy day, but hauling in a net together, shoulder to shoulder, you build those connections.
And I think that's one thing that I really enjoyed, is meeting the other guardians. Just being out and involved with the other nations was something also that I really enjoyed.
I think we all have developed a really good relationship with each other. I think it'll last a long time.
5 years of hard work and dedication.
When you spend time out tromping through the mud and in the intertidal and collecting those data, in any type of weather, from torrential rain to bright sunshine and high temperatures. So those are really lasting friendships as well as enduring partnerships professionally.
5 years of learning about estuaries, of monitoring and managing and restoring the most in need.
Going out there every month and collecting this data, having the commitment to go out there and do it, and everyone completing their surveys, and it's going to be something special to see, I think.
All to provide hope, a better future for all those who depend on these critical places in nature.
There's statistics that are out there that, they only represent 3% of BC's coast, but they support 80% of all fish and wildlife in BC at some stage of their life cycle and life history. So there's that, which is, if people start thinking of, you really think about that, it's pretty phenomenal that such a small piece of a landscape can support so much. And it's one of the things that I think oftentimes may be forgotten.
What little is left of the integrity of that ecosystem is important, because until we do that, we won't be able to bring back and restore some of those other values that have been there for millennia.
It's important to the nation and to our people to ensure that river systems, our estuary, and our resources are healthy.
Yeah, it all again comes back to the salmon for me. I grew up relying on salmon, fishing salmon. I remember pulling a net since probably the first time I could walk, and so working to protect our food source, I think, is what gets me out of bed. I take a lot of pride working for the nations and my peoples.
I think this work of protecting and restoring estuaries is of critical importance. Estuaries are these critical stopover habitats for young salmon. They are these really important nursery habitats for the young fish. And the science is showing that what happens in this moment of time for salmon can have population level impacts. But of course, it's not just salmon that rely on these ecosystems. Many different species that we care and rely on need healthy estuaries. And what I think is really powerful and unique about this project is it's not just looking at estuaries today, but it's looking to the future. So it's asking, how are these systems changing? And then what can we do about it? How can we try to get ahead of climate change? How can we restore not just for the habitats of today, but also for the habitats of tomorrow?
And those 5 years were just the beginning.
The work is definitely not over. We've come to the end of our initial base 5-year study. We're actually continuing the study for another 3 years. And we're looking forward to continuing it as long as we possibly can.
We will keep working, keep building, keep learning from each other, and from those rare and special places along the BC coast, where land, rivers, and the ocean meet.
As long as I'm here, I'll be keen on getting out there.
Because so much depends on these estuaries.
These estuaries are all different, but they also, all have that sort of power. They all have that sort of common, feel of a hot spot for nature and people.
And because so much is left to be done.
I hope that we always do the right thing, which is protect what we have. And I'd like to think that I'm helping in some way to, shed light on how we've been doing business in our territory.
So we celebrate the work of these last 5 years. We celebrate all those who have come together. We celebrate all that has been accomplished.
It feels great. It feels good to ensure that everything is proper and healthy for the next generations as well.
Yeah, I think it's been a huge success just collecting all of this data from 15 different sites over the past 5 years. It's taken a lot of work for many different people.
And now we turn to the future to build on our successes and collaborations.
I feel like there will always be more work to do, but I think so far with what we have done and what we've been doing has been really great.
We're really excited to try to understand, how this science can look to the future and then inform decisions like where do we restore, where do we conserve for the resilience of these systems into the future.
To always remember that we are now the stewardship, to continue to pass on and on to our youth, because they are going to be the leaders of this land.
And to continue to protect these wild places that connect our past with our future. As surely as estuaries weave together the land with the water and with life.